I started lifting weights at a very young age. I was about 13 when I discovered strength training. And on the surface, that was a super positive thing that gave me a new identity. I was a lost teenager, um, as most teenagers are, kind of figuring things out. I just moved to America, so a lot of things changed in my life, and I was looking for some sense of control. And that's when I developed a lot of body image issues. I was really terrified of gaining weight, of not being fit. I heard some really negative things said about other people and their bodies, and I really internalized it and saw and thought my self-worth is tied to how I look, and I really need to stay at it and be fit so that people don't say those things about me. And I was really scared to hear those things um, said in my direction. So it really, that combined with the fact that, again, my environment changed a lot because I came to America and it was a completely different ecosystem. um, I became really fixated on fitness. And so I started, I learned about kind of that weight training exists, and I started doing it. And it gave me this whole new purpose and new sense of identity because I'm a I'm the only girl lifting in the weight room, and it was like a really cool feeling because I felt like, oh yeah, I've got this thing that I do, and it became an identity, all of it, all on its own. And it sort of helped me with my body image issues, but then it also sent me into this new direction of thinking, okay, I need to do 2 hours a day of training. Otherwise, it's not effective, right? So I had no idea what I'm doing, but the only thing I had were the fitness magazines. So here's one, right? So these magazines, I have a ton of these. These magazines are all from my high school years. The Muscle and Fitness. I mean, I was a fan. I was a fan of these, and this is what I'm getting, right? So here's, emergency diet when all else fails. Get the beach body, the whole thing. And that's where I'm getting my knowledge about fitness from. And so I'm buying into the hype of no pain, no gain. You must, pain is weakness leaving the body, and you must train really hard, and it takes like 2 hours a day to be fit. And to get it, and the goal is to get shredded, and the goal is to look a certain way. And that training, that's what it takes. That 2 hours of training a day is what it takes. And everything else is irrelevant. It doesn't count. Going for a walk, no, that's not training. It doesn't count, and it's a waste of time. That's a really important miss for me because I missed out on a lot of really, enjoying my life because I was really obsessed with making sure I get my exercise in. But that exercise, again, pretty much took control of me, of my day, and I couldn't enjoy the rest of my life, right? Because I would go, on vacation. I'm like, well, I must get to a gym. And, it's got to be 2 hours. So I got to do a bunch of cardio and I got to do a bunch of weight training. Oh, and by the way, my weight training is, um, the body weight split, the chest day on Monday, back on Tuesday, bis and tris, leg day on Thursday. And it was like the body weight split followed me for like 10 years. I did that. And so, and this is like, that took me into my 20s. And so I did all of this thinking I'm doing everything right. But instead, I mean, I was performing the exercises incorrectly. I was, putting together these routines that I was getting from magazines that were completely misguided. And that, of course, sent me into a world of injury. And so I started to get injured, I mean, very early on. And I remember I'm 17. I just finished a 2 hour routine of strength training. And whatever it was a body weight split of some sort, probably chest and a bunch of bench press, which I thought is like paramount for fitness. And I dropped my keys. I'm about to leave. I dropped my keys. I bent down to pick them up, and that was it. I could not straighten up. My back went out, and I couldn't not just walk. I couldn't straighten up to walk. And I try to play off the fact, and I'm thinking, okay, this is good. This is that pain they're talking about. So I embraced it and I said, okay, I'm not going to show anyone in how much pain I'm. I got into hobbled. I hobbled to my car and I got home, didn't tell my family, and sort of hid the fact that I have all of this pain because, wait, no pain, no gain. I'm supposed to feel this way. And this is what it takes to be fit. This is what it takes to look a certain way. This is what's needed. I'm doing everything right. And I really believed that. And I did not start to discover that there are other ways to feel in your body until my mid 20s, to be honest. And I mean, I really kind of revolved my life around making sure I get the exercise in and making sure I'm sore every fucking day. That was like the key. You have to get sore and you have to be barely able to walk. Of course, that impacted my whole lifestyle because at that point, I couldn't enjoy anything else. I'm constantly sore and my back goes out every few weeks. I mean, truly every few weeks my back goes out. I developed knee pain, all of that, but the back pain was the biggest issue for me. And then it's like I wake up super sore. I have to I can barely really walk in the morning to the bathroom and bend down to wash my face. And then, my shoulders are getting up here and um, I really didn't enjoy my body. I mean, it felt terrible, but that's what I thought it takes. I really thought that that's what fitness is. And so it took me a really long time to learn other ways. It took me a really long time to learn that I can work with my body and not against it. I don't have to beat myself up. And it took me going to a lot of practitioners. I went to a lot of trainers, coaches, acupuncturists, chiropractors, physical therapists. And all of them helped me piece some things together. And I actually ended up getting my PhD in kinesiology, the study of human movement, because I got really into, the biomechanics of things, the science behind it, the effects on public health of the fitness that I've been doing. And I learned a lot more of the context around the whole thing. And I began to develop a much healthier relationship with how I train. And I'm still in the process of doing that because I still catch myself thinking, well, if I don't do more, I'm not good enough. I won't deserve being respected. My discipline levels are lacking. So it's kind of like this constant pull of you cannot enjoy yourself. You must train hard. And that's what it means to be fit. And that's what it takes to deserve respect. And that's what my self-worth was based in for so many years. And again, it's still a struggle because as soon as something happens and I can't train, I start sliding into that philosophy, that fear of, okay, well, I'm not being consistent, so it's really not, I'm not being good enough, and I don't deserve people to think well of me. And that's something, again, still a struggle, but I did learn ways throughout my journey of how to work with my body and not against it, how to not beat myself up. And so I've made all of the mistakes throughout my life in fitness training. I've done all the exercises wrong, all of them. I've hurt myself in all of them. The programming I was getting from these magazines, especially if it had Arnold Schwarzenegger on the cover, like I bought it. I have them all from those years. These are, by the way, from high school, right? So this is my high school mindset. This is where I'm getting exercises from, and I'm getting no results. I'm getting no improvement in my sports performance, which is what I was thinking would happen. And so no improvement in sports performance. My fitness level is okay, but I'm in pain all the time. And so that kind of promise of that shredded physique isn't there. And I have back pain and I'm spending 2 hours at the gym. And it just wasn't adding up, but it took me a really long time to accept that and to actually figure out ways to enjoy my body and to train more optimally and more effectively and more sustainably. So that's been my journey to figure out how to improve my movement quality, how to figure out effective programming that I can actually sustain so that I live my life and enjoy the rest of my lifestyle I'm able to, pick up my baby without thinking about it and not thinking about how much my back hurts. Um, and I'm able to, go out for a walk and actually enjoy it, not thinking I should be sprinting instead. And I've optimized my time because now I really don't have 2 hours a day to spend like I did when I was a kid in the weight room, right? And so how do you optimize your time so that you still get results? And it's not still. I get much better results with my 20-minute workouts than I did with my 2-hour workouts. And I'm putting money in the bank in terms of my body and how it feels. Um, I used to really, really deplete myself. It used to take out so much from me that again, I could not wake up and I was so stiff. I couldn't just get out of bed. And it was kind of debilitating. Again, in my 20s, I felt a lot worse than I feel now. And I'm about to turn 38 and I just had a baby a year ago. And I feel so much better now than I did back then. And I work out less. So it's that mind shift took me many years. I mean, it took me 25 years to get here. But it feels really good to be able to spend 20 minutes um, kind of building yourself up, not tearing yourself down with strength training and improving my fitness levels and actually improving my sport performance now and liking how my body looks and still feeling that I'm worthy of respect because I'm not spending 2 hours a day. I'm spending 20 minutes a day or whatnot. Or sometimes I have to skip a workout because I just don't have time as a new mom. And I'm still okay. And that trust in my body took me 25 years. That I'm not going to gain 50 pounds overnight, like I feared for so many years. So I kind of I went on this journey and I have discovered ways to be effective, efficient, and optimize my training.